Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mouth of the Mark. It is Monday. That means that we are back for another week of reviewing Monday Night Raw. This time, we have a guest. Ladies and gentlemen, from GeekBattleRoyale.com, Big Sexy Brad is with us.
What's happening, everybody?
Don't you laugh at him, Daniel. You will respect him. As always, I'm joined by Daniel John Schaefer. We have Big Brad with us tonight after a month of trying. So, we are going to not waste any time, and we are going to jump right into it. We'll start with Daniel. Daniel, what did you think of Raw overall?
Overall, I thought it was a better show than last week, but not really by much. And I thought last week was the worst Raw of the year. I gave the entire show a C minus to like a D plus, barely passable to me. There were some saving graces on Raw. There were some pretty cool moments, but I felt overall the show just kind of was pretty lackluster.
Okay. Big Brad, what about you? Overall, A, B, C, D, E, F. Like, what did you think of Raw this week?
I think we may have lost him.
I was going to say, we get him on, and he freezes. Big B, you there? I see you.
Am I here?
Yeah,
I
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you guys perfect.
Okay, cool.
How about now? You got me?
Yeah, I got you now.
Oh, I give it a C minus as well. I mean, I really do. It was better than last week's, which was a complete shitstorm. So, but there were some shiny moments. Obviously, the Dean Ambrose orgasm at the end for the crowd, and I mean, which everybody popped for huge. The Kevin Owens, John Cena deal was a lot better, this time. So yeah, I give it a C minus, bordering on the D plus, just like Daniel did.
Yeah, this is weird. I find that the more that I do this show, the more that I'm becoming in agreement with Daniel. When we started this, we were completely different marks, and I feel like he's corrupted me over the last couple of months because I'm going to go ahead and give this show a D plus to C minus.
That's what I do, man. I got to use my heel influence somewhere.
It was, and you guys touched on it. There were a couple of saving throws done. That's right, D&D reference there. I'm a nerd. Back off me. There were a couple of saving throws for this show, but overall, it was just. It just seemed like a train wreck. It's another situation where they have 2 weeks until a show, and they've got to fit a lot of stuff into these 2 weeks, and it's so much to grasp in 3 hours. It's a lot. Let's go ahead and let's take it bit by bit here. Open the night with a segment from the Authority demanding Ambrose gives the title back, blah, blah, blah. Short end of the stick, Reigns comes out instead, says that Ambrose is going to give the title back if he gets a rematch. So we have a rematch set for Money in the Bank. Ladder match, which, by the way, 24 hours ago, Daniel called it. Ladder match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose for the WWE World Heavyweight title. But that part is good. Here's where the bad part started. They are going to... We didn't know it at the time, but they're making Reigns do the whole defend your spot thing. The first match was fine. It was... oh, God. Who'd he face first? Oh, he faced Bad News Barrett first, didn't he?
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad that it's just forgettable like that. That's sad, man. That shows you how piss poor creative has been with Barrett over the past 2 weeks. They just killed him.
Dude, that's my biggest gripe. I don't know about you guys, but my biggest gripe is that you've given Barrett King of the Ring, and now you've booked him utterly shitty, ever since. Big Brad, what'd you think about Reigns versus Barrett as far as whether you give it a letter grade or out of 5 stars? What'd you think about Bad News versus Roman?
First off, real quick, that opening segment, I thought it was some tremendous mic work from Roman Reigns. I don't like the spokesman part, for Dean Ambrose. That kind of really threw me off. But it was really good mic work. He was real comfortable on the mic. He was real smooth on the mic. He took his punches on the mic as well. Especially, when you interact, I give her credit where credit's due. Stephanie McMahon is fantastic when it comes to being live on the mic. I think she is I'm not going to say for a woman. I'm not going to be that guy, but I mean for what she can do. I mean, I think she's really good at it.
She plays.
So
She
it was
plays
good
the
mic
heel
work by
role well.
Roman Reigns. Now, as far as the match goes with Bad News Barrett, me and Daniel touched on this earlier. I can't. I mean, I believe I did my research there, and if I'm not mistaken, Barrett has the worst win-loss record of a multiple-time Intercontinental Champion, which is crazy because the guy has such tremendous upside and has world champion written all over him. But it seems like they just don't want to pull that trigger yet on Bad News Barrett at all, And I don't see what they're waiting on. I don't see why not, But as far as his match with Roman Reigns, I mean, Barrett's going to give you as good a match as anybody. So, I mean, especially against a guy that can be kind of stiff with Roman Reigns. So I thought, as far as the match went, I mean, I gave it 3.5 stars, easy. I thought it was well done, and it was, for two guys that are still young and trying to make their mark.
3.5. That's pretty generous. I gave it 3 to 2.5, and not because of the lack of work, but I gave it that mostly because of the lack of creative with it. I think that giving Roman the whole win or go home thing was a terrible idea. But I didn't like the creative behind it. So Daniel, what do you think of Barrett versus Roman?
I'm actually I'm going to side with Brad on this one. I think the match out of all the gauntlet matches, including the main event, to me, I thought that this one kind of got overlooked. There was one pretty cool spot. They were outside the ring, and they were each on either side of the steel steps, and Barrett kicked the steps, and Roman sold the knee, and I thought that was a pretty clever little spot. I hadn't seen that in a while. Just like he was saying, like young guys working hard. In that opening segment, though, you were saying that Roman had some great mic work. I felt like this was probably the first time since the Shield that I was like, I really could believe Seth Rollins as a bad guy. I mean, he looked really vicious, almost stumbling over his words a little bit, but I mean, it was good. He looked mean tonight, and I liked that. I gave the match, but yeah, I mean, the Barrett and Reigns match, I gave that a B- to a C+. It was a decent match, but I mean, I wrote down in my notes, I said it's a pretty solid match, but I just had no investment in that story. And that's how I look at it.
And that was me as well. But I think that I factor in creative a lot more than I maybe should. Because ring work, you're right, the ring work was good, but I think the lack of creative there, or the bad decision by creative, really brought it down in my mind. Yeah, it really pulled me out of it. And then after that, and see, like, this Raw was bad enough to where I'm forgetting the order of matches. Like, I know what happened, but I'm forgetting the order, and like, I should be taking notes, but I was hoping that Raw would be good enough that I would just remember. You know what I mean? Was Ziggler and Kofi after that, or what
No,
was that?
it was they had that terrible Diva promo with Nikki and Paige that looked super awkward in the back.
Yeah.
And then they had that whole Ryback, Miz, Big Show segment that was
that.
it was technically a match, but it was awful. So I gave that segment an F. Brad, what do you think about that whole Miz Ryback thing?
It's another one of those deals in which it's a Vince McMahon decision, in my opinion, which is why Ryback's getting what he's getting. Triple H is the kind of guy who's pushing, the Kevin Owens, and he's pushing the Sami Zayns, and he's pushing, Finn Balor and all those other guys. Vince McMahon still likes his muscle guys. He still does. I mean, he's always been that way. He's been that way for 35 years now. So, I mean, Ryback's getting his push, and I do believe, and maybe not now, maybe not in the next year and a half, but I still believe that Ryback is going to be in the world title picture again. Whether he wins it or not, I don't know. But as far as that segment goes, I mean, that was all over the freaking place. But I always enjoy a good Big Show moment. I didn't enjoy that one at all. The Miz is another one of those guys that, to me, you're underutilizing The Miz a little too much. You're burying some of these guys that just don't need to be buried right now, especially, when you're going with that whole youth movement. So as far as that segment goes, yeah, D- at best in that whole segment. So
100% agreement there. I don't think there is a single fan that, let me rephrase that, I don't think there's a single smart fan that is excited for Ryback versus Big Show.
No.
This is different than Big Show versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns at that point had proven to really bring the thunder. Ryback cannot. This is, if there was going to be a snooze fest, this is going to be the snooze fest coming up, boys. We're going to have Ryback versus Big Show, and it's going to be bathroom break, get a refill and drink, and order some pizza or something.
Yeah.
The segment was terrible. It's a terrible decision to put Big Show with Ryback. Ryback had trouble working against Bad News Barrett.
Yeah.
I mean, on the worst Raw of the year, he had trouble working Bad News Barrett, and you're going to let him work Big Show? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Again, piss poor creative and a bad decision.
I mean, really, if you look at it, though, if you look at the science of it, and I hate to use that term, you look at the science of pro wrestling, but if you look at it on a booking level, okay, you got a guy who's incredibly stiff in the ring, who has a reputation of being a terrible worker with other guys, especially guys that are smaller than him. Maybe it's not such a bad idea to put him in there with the Big Show. Somebody that can, I guess sort of like a pick on your own size, guy your own size kind of thing. I'm a huge fan of promo work. That's what I like. I like guys that have tremendous mic skills. If you don't have mic skills, I'm not going to invest in you. Those two guys, I can't invest in promo work for those guys because it's going to be terrible. I like to say every time I hear Ryback talk now, I hear the Ultimate Warrior from 1991. When I hear Ryback talk, I mean, I'm waiting on him to start snarling and telling everybody some fucking parts unknown, So.
Yeah.
You guys hear Warrior, and all I hear is, I'm sorry, I'm dumb as fuck. Like, that's all I hear. But so there was that atrocious segment, and I can't believe I'm going to make Daniel stumble me through another Raw again. What's after this, Dan?
After the terrible Miz and Ryback show segment was, I'm going to go ahead. All right, it was the Owens-Cena promo switch, and Owens had a great, passionate promo to begin with, and I didn't realize they were going to give him like 20 minutes. So I thought it was just going to be Owens with this big promo. Cena says a few things, and dude, Cena, like, I think they're working really well together. You can tell that they have a chemistry outside of the ring because of how that promo went. You could tell that I honestly can probably tell you that it was Owens' idea to say. I'm sure he told Cena, "Hey, call me a wrestler. Like, look down on me and call me a wrestler." You know what I mean? Like. Because that just boils our blood too, is smarts, like, But when he that very last line, like, but you're a wrestler, like that was, and I'm a superstar, was essentially what he was saying. Like, it was good, it was great work. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a new classic. Like, we're just having it happen now, but this feud is going to be a classic when it's done. I'm really excited about it. I gave that whole segment, if I could give it 10 stars out of 5, I would.
Yeah. If I could give this segment moment of the night rather than match of the night, this segment gets moment of the night. I mean, these guys really, they brought it last night at Elimination Chamber, and they brought it again tonight. I can't wait to see what they do at Money in the Bank. Big Brad, any more flowers to throw on the ground for it?
I mean, I still think the whole wrestling bit.
We got wrestling bit and
wrestler
leg.
bit is. I really do. I mean, Yeah, I do. I think that it's a jab at CM Punk. Also, I mean, there's something about Kevin Owens on the mic that I just I'm listening to it and I'm like, just something about this guy's voice, the way he's talking to me. It's like I'm on the phone with my cousin, you know. I mean, it's kind of crazy to hear him talk, you know. But John Cena, you know. John Cena's tremendous. He's passionate. He's got it. You know, he brings the fans in. He brings, you know, he throws. Man, what about the moment when he calls out the little kid with the, you know, I beat cancer sign? I mean, was that not awesome or what?
Yeah, it was great.
You know, and the look on the kid's face. I mean, the kid was just bawling in tears because, I mean, basically his hero just called him out on national television, which is just tremendous. And that's what John Cena's good for, you know. But over these past 6-7 weeks, I've seen some of the best John Cena work that I've seen since 2003.
Yeah,
you know, when he first jumped in. You know, it's been great because of the level of competition that John Cena's been working with over the past 6 weeks as well. You know, these young guys from NXT are bringing out the best in John Cena.
Yeah.
So that whole segment, you know, it was really good. I'll go ahead. I'll give it the segment of the night. I will, simply because the rest of the show was just not up to par at all. But man, don't give Kevin Owens 20 minutes on the mic. I mean, I'm sorry. Give him an hour in the ring, but don't give him 20 minutes on the mic.
I love his promo work, dude. I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Brad, because I've followed Steen since I found out about him in Ring of Honor, and I'm not just taking up for Dan here because I don't do that as often as people think. Daniel, you're still a sack of shit, just so you know.
My minion.
But no, but I mean, Steen's been good. He has a different way of getting himself over or getting himself heat. Just watch his promo work when he's heel and him and Generico are feuding, how he lets the crowd cheer for him when he came back to Ring of Honor, and then he turns around and he's like, you people are the biggest hypocrites in the world because you booed me and cheered me. You cheered El Generico whenever I got fired from Ring of Honor, and now you're going to turn around and worship me like a savior. Just his promo work, when he can be spot on, like when he's not, you could tell that a lot of that was really scripted and not shooting from the hip like he's used to. But yeah. I think that as he progresses on the main roster, now that he's got a full-time contract on the main roster, I think that he will become more comfortable, and we will see him adapt to the bullet points that they give him, and we will see some Kevin Steen promos from Kevin Owens, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that would be great. I mean, I really do, because I can't, begin to tell you how much I believe that people should, if they want to see some really good from the hip promo work, they have to watch some of the stuff from Ring of Honor. Because those guys are just, man, they're learning their craft and they're molding their craft, and man, some of their stuff is so passionate. Even, dude, I mean, I don't think Shelton Benjamin, Jay Lethal didn't do great promo work until he went to Ring of Honor. Now that he's at Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal's putting out some of the best promo work of his career.
Point of order, you have not seen the most amazing promo in the world until you've seen Ric Flair Lethal versus Ric Flair, because that is promo of a lifetime.
That was
but
good. With
but
Jay Lethal at the top of the ramp.
yeah,
Oh yeah, with Flair in the ring, it was good. It really
yep,
was.
the giant woo
But
off.
yeah, it was. And Ric Flair was elbow dropping his jacket. It was great. It was. I did see that. That was awesome. Yeah.
But here you go, Ring of Honor. Here's your plug. When WWE contacts Daniel to take over creative, you can call me for marketing at Destination America because I will help you get rid of
There you go.
TNA.
There you go. Call me up.
Here's
I
a plug.
will write you out of the depths and into the major leagues. Just call me anytime. I'll just be waiting for that check in the mail.
Don't worry, TNA is going to write themselves off of Destination America.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yep. So moving forward after moment of the night, what was the poor unfortunate soul that had to follow that up?
It was a six-man, huh?
It was the Kofi Ziggler match.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That got turned into a six-man. So let's take it bit by bit here. Even though it's really half of a match, I didn't really rate the Ziggler Kofi match high because I guess maybe I expected so much out of the two workers. Ziggler did a lot of selling, I think, but it was really the New Day show. It was really a showcase for the New Day until the Primetime Players made the save, and then they started the six-man tag match. And I think we'll just kind of leave it at a quick note on that, not to worry about a grade or anything like that, because obviously it's a whole set. What do you guys think, just in general, about Kofi and Ziggler as a one at first? We'll start. I guess we'll let Big Brad go first. Guest honor.
I mean, as two guys knowing that this is going to become a six-man tag match, I give it a good solid 3.5 stars out of 5. I mean, easy. I give it a good B minus. Because once again, two tremendous talents that are just, I mean, they're buried. Man, they're being buried. They're thrown in these gimmick matches. They're thrown in these gimmick deals, and it's just, there's no need for it, really. But those guys work their asses off. They really do. If you notice, and I may be the only one to notice, I may not, when you see the New Day together, and when you see the heel tactics come out, you don't see Kofi do them as much as Xavier Woods and Big E Langston. Kofi's always, off to the side, or Kofi might drop in a kick, but then he's over here doing something else, or he's sliding out of the ring. So, I mean, I don't think people buy into Kofi as a heel. I don't buy into Kofi Kingston as a heel. I just don't. It's one of those things that just, for me, it just doesn't work. But I like New Day as a whole. I really do. I think it's comedy gold. I mean, it's great, and they're talented, and it's funny, and everything like that. But, I mean, it's just, I like Ziggler and I like Kofi. I think those are two guys that are long overdue a big, big push. Although, Dolph did get it, and he got hurt. His brain screwed him around. He did have it. His brain screwed him around. But Kofi was long overdue a trigger, man. He was long overdue. So.
Dan, what about you, man?
Yeah, I think I'm with Brad. Like, having those two guys knowing that they're only going to get, I think maybe 3 minutes at most before it's going to turn into a six-man. They did pretty good. I mean, it was a pro wrestling match. They didn't try to jam some spots in there like it was 2007 or something. It was pretty good, just solid work. So I'd say as the singles part of it, I'd give it about 3.5 stars. And I know that you guys were talking about Titus O'Neil looking awesome. But just for that singles part, I gave it about a C plus to a B minus.
Okay. And I agree with Brad where they missed their shot with Kofi. I'm one of those guys who believes that they really should have pulled the trigger on him when he was red hot against that feud with Orton. When Orton was heel.
Oh, yeah.
But just to see where they could have gone with him, I think his lack of, that was his one good promo that I remember. So I think that his lack of promo would have shown then. But, I agree they missed a shot with Kofi. But moving into the six-man tag match with Primetime Players and Dolph Ziggler versus the New Day. Um, I think that they're really making the Primetime Players look good. More specifically, they're trying to book Titus O'Neil to look like an all-star. Um, and whenever I had said that Titus is looking sharp, it's more from the booking angle standpoint. If you noticed, he had the hot tag, he had the hot streak, um, and he did a pump handle slam for a win, which I thought was kind of weird. But I'm a fan of the pump handle slam, so uh, I'll take what I can get, I guess. So I guess I'm going to give the tag match probably a 2.5 to 3 star, with the singles match being a little, about the same. Um, but I don't know. Do you guys think that Primetime Players are going to be the next number one contenders against the New Day, or do you think that they just made them look strong coming off of that close elimination chamber match? Dan, what do you think?
I think they're definitely trying to push primetime players. I mean, I think that's a definite thing. And I agree that they are giving him a push, but I don't think that they should. I would hope that they're going to do the same thing with Darren in the weeks coming up, because I think they need to push them as a team and not just have one guy shine. And not only that, but like, to me, I mean, he pulled off the moves. I mean, he pulled off his spots, but maybe it's just because we're smarks and we dissect everything. He just seemed winded, and he seemed a little late, just a little late to every spot. He was definitely supposed to hit some kind of move before he led that dude into Dolph Ziggler. I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been Woods for that super kick, and he missed it. There was one point where he was supposed to break up a cover, and Darren kicked out, and he just kicked.
Yeah.
He just kicked Darren. Like, I mean, it was blatant on TV. He just stomped right on him, and I was like, oh god, like that's a terrible botch. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I gave the tag match itself, I gave another probably 2 or 3 stars. So I'd say overall 3 to 3.5 stars for the whole ensemble of that. So like a C plus, B minus.
Yeah, real quick, Brad. What you think, man, about that tag match?
I like. I mean, I keep bringing it up all the time. I mean, you still got the Usos that are sticking around. The Usos are there. They're going to come back. They're going to be white hot when they come back. So I got a feeling that, until then, because whether or not it's going to happen next week, it's going to happen, 6 months, or it's going to happen SummerSlam, you got to have a good face to go in there. And I think right now, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're pushing O'Neil and John Cena Jr. They're pushing them both, as the faces. I mean, and Titus O'Neil to me is, I mean, he's Ezekiel Jackson with a personality. I mean, he's this big, huge guy, and he's got great skills. I mean, I didn't really see a winded guy in there, especially when you're taking 230-pound guys and you're throwing them around like sacks of potatoes. I mean, it didn't look too winded to me, but man, that botch into that super kick was terrible. I mean, that could have been something that could have seriously hurt Xavier Woods or possibly Dolph Ziggler. That was a you just couldn't miss that botch, man. That was bad. But I think I'm with Daniel too. 3 stars probably for the whole shebang. 6 guys that work really well. I don't think we've seen the best of Darren Young. I mean, and I know that's weird to say, but I think Darren Young's got a lot of tremendous upside.
Yeah.
But he kind of gets lost in the shuffle. As usual, it's a big circus right now. And I'm not going to blame the fact that because Seth Rollins is world champion, but I think Roman Reigns put that out there too at the beginning segment. But I mean, it's been terrible booking. It is. It's been some terrible booking. So, I mean, I can't blame a lot of the talent. I mean, it's the guys telling them what to do,
And that is the crux of the whole situation. The booking. Was Roman's number 2 next?
That was Mark Henry.
Yeah. So here's my biggest gripe about this, and they did it 2 times in a row. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, How are you going to have Mark come back for Elimination Chamber? He works face Elimination Chamber in Texas, his home state. How do you do that? And then not 24 hours later, you have him come out and just mean mug Roman Reigns and just work as like Hall of Pain type heel. Like, how do you do that? I mean, I literally just said the words shitty creative, and they are making a perfect example of it right here. I mean,
Well, that's kind of what they've been doing with Mark Henry over the past, like, say, 5 years. If you look at it, there's been multiple times that Mark Henry's been a face on Monday and then a heel on Thursday, Fridays. I mean, it happens. I've seen him be a face at the beginning of Raw and be a heel at the end of Raw. I mean, they do that with Mark Henry because I mean that.
I mean, I get that. I get that they do that, but it's not smart booking at all. The match itself wasn't as terrible as it could have been, but it
so
could have
quick.
been way worse.
It was so quick. It was so quick, and then the count out, like, I mean, my note here just says, like, Reigns Henry equals meh. Like, it was so, like, there was nothing there. I mean, it was just so, there was nothing there. I mean, it was just so quick, and the count out finish, like, why? Like, you just had him beat the crap out of it, Elimination Chamber for no reason. At least go ahead and put Reigns over on him clean, like, and then having, like, Henry come in and hit, like, a heel thing, like it's a feud, like they're gonna extend their program or something. It's like it made no sense. Like, why wouldn't you just have Reigns, like, somehow pull out a win and have Henry beat him to that point instead of just having a count?
Well, it set up the third match. I mean, that's what it did. I mean, I could see it from that booking standpoint. It set up the third match. As soon as that match was over, I'm like, okay, the third guy's going to be somebody, even more spectacular. So, yeah, you got to rough him up even more. And I can understand that too.
Because if it was me, and I bet Daniel would do this too, but I'm going to say it first, so it's my idea. If it was me, I would let Reigns go over clean on Henry, and then if you're going to have a count-out finish, save some shine on Bray.
Yes.
Like, don't let Bray lose clean.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I get that there's the distraction at the end, but we'll get to the main event. But this was a dud for me. Like, this isn't my worst match of the night because we're going to talk about that. But, this was pretty low. Like, I gave this a C- to a D. Like, this was pretty low.
I give it a D-. I do. I give it a D- too.
So D- from Brad. Dan, are you on the same page as him?
Yeah.
As low as you can get?
Yeah. As low as you can get and be passable, which is what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And to continue my gripe, guys, not only did they have a face-heel swap in 24 hours with Mark Henry, but I'm sorry, what the fuck? Where did Twin Magic come from? Like, they did it again. Like, they have done it again, and not just, again, twice in a row on the same show. They did it again with the Bellas switching from face to heel with no fucking explanation. Like, you had Nikki working heel against Paige, and let's be honest here, Nikki was working the heel in that match. And then they did Twin Magic. First off, how do you confuse the two now? And second off, like, why? Where was the explanation for it? Like, I gave that whole thing.
I think it's because you're the only person that pays attention to a Divas match.
No, like I mean, it's Paige. Like, I mean, Paige and AJ were like the saviors of the division, and then AJ retired, and I'm just clinging on the hope that Paige can salvage something long enough for Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, and Bayley to get called up. But it's just not working. And the worst part is that this match had some time, and it wasn't god-awful. I mean, it was awful, but it wasn't god-awful. I had the match at like a solid C- until the Twin Magic bullshit happened. And then I was just like, fuck it, let it fail. I don't give a fuck.
I think Dusty Rhodes has been booking too many matches lately.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
honestly do.
Like they just need to pull the book from Dusty,
Yeah.
and they just need to give it to Paul or something. Like that just
Yes.
needs to happen. So real quick, Brad, I mean, out of 5, man, give me like a 1 or a .5 for this, please.
I can't even. I mean, I give it. I'll give it a 1, and I'll tell you why I give it a 1 because I do have respect for the Divas. I do. I mean, they travel 300 days a year just like everybody.
I see the mouth moving, but I hear no sound.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Yeah. Man, this one for me, I'm gonna go like completely opposite, man. I actually thought the match was really good. I thought the match itself was really good. I thought the in-ring work was pretty cool. The finish, that little like fisherman DDT off the first rope, like that was good, man. It was a good spot.
That was a cool spot.
The actual in-ring work was probably some of Nikki's better. It was a better match in ring than the triple threat the night before. It was. It was a better in-ring match than the match they had with Naomi, the three-way, just the night before. I
Well,
agree with you. The finish pissed me off, and that really almost like really degraded the whole rating for me. And I do agree like with everything that you guys said about booking and creative, but I actually thought that the in-ring work was pretty good tonight. It was probably one of the better Divas matches on a Raw that's been out for quite a while. So I mean, I don't know. Like I think we're so used to like I think we're all kind of like going in with with just like kind of jaded glasses on, when we watch these Divas matches and we're like just expecting it to suck. And tonight I thought it was a pretty good match, but I didn't like again the creative is piss poor. So I gave it 2.5, 3 stars.
I'm actually opposite. I don't think I'm going in with jaded glasses in terms of uh, like thinking that it's gonna suck. I think I have jaded glasses in terms of I expect it to be phenomenal because I think I'm the opposite. I think that I really just expect it to be really good like NXT, and then when it's not like that, I just shit on it. So like that kind of but finish just really pissed me off.
Yeah.
So what oh God. So we're coming up on the end now because after the Divas, it was Bo Dallas and Neville, wasn't it?
No, it
Because
was
they
Orton and Sheamus.
Oh, it was Orton and Sheamus. That's right. That's
Orton and
right. That's
Sheamus,
right. That's
yeah.
right. Um, Orton and Sheamus was. I'll be honest, dude. I was out of it for that match. Like I was pretty out of that match. All I could think of was after WrestleMania in New Jersey. All I could think of is the same old shit chants and the thank you Big Show chants. Like at the end of that, after they faced the Shield at Mania. Because I mean, how many times have we seen Sheamus versus Orton on a Raw? And
A
like
lot.
I get it's cool that Orton came back and it was his first match back, but for the time they had and then the DQ ending to where neither of them really lost steam, uh, I mean it was an match at best, like 3 to 2.5. It was pretty average. Quick, Dan, what'd you think about Orton versus Sheamus?
I thought it was a good match as far as in-ring work. They got a lot of time. I just felt like I feel like they are, sometimes it's like they'll throw in a pro wrestling style angle, and it's like now you're sparking a feud because you just gave them 20 minutes. And it would make sense, like, at the beginning of the match, like, my notes were like, why? Why this match? Like, again, for no reason. There's no build-up. You keep Orton off the chamber for no reason. It wasn't like he had an injury or anything. At least with Reigns, you put him on the show, did that, like, Ambrose angle with him. And you know Orton at all, like, for 2 weeks, not even the build-ups going into it. He was just off. He wasn't hurt. It made no sense to just bring him back. But then halfway through it, because they gave him so much time, I was thinking, well, maybe they're actually trying to spark a feud here. Maybe this is what spins out of the Money in the Bank match, because we both know neither one of those guys are winning Money in the Bank. So, so at that point, by the time I got through with it, I was like, okay, at this point, I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing this feud happen if they do it the right way, which they won't. But if they do, it could be good work. so I gave it a C+.
Okay. Big Brad, Orton and Sheamus.
For the 400 millionth time, the guys do a good job. The guys do a great job in the work. I mean, they're talented. They've got the chops. I mean, Orton time and time again, he always surprises me. Randy Orton does, because you think, you know what, man, this it's the same old shit, another headlock, and then he manages to put on a 3.5-star, 4-star match sometimes, and I'm a huge fan of Sheamus. Sheamus has got the look, he's got the build. I think he's a great heel. I mean, he's got everything. He's got all the intangibles. So those kind of matches, Orton and Sheamus should be 4-star matches. They should. But when you've seen vanilla so many times, it gets to where it's like, man, I can't give it 4 stars anymore because I'm seeing the same stuff over and over and over. Put a pinata on a pole match. Give them something else, man.
Yeah.
Throw something different in there, and it would give me a little more incentive. But in-ring work is always great with those two. I mean, it really is. Just don't give them a mic and tell them to promo each other. Just don't do that, because one of them's going to forget, the other one's going to look stupid. I mean, it's just not right, But I mean, they're good guys. I mean, I think they're great talent, and they're one of them still got tons and tons of time left. With Sheamus. I mean, and Randy Orton, is still in prime. He's still in prime. He can still go out and work a 35-minute match, and give you 100% the whole time, But it's just one of those things in which it's like, we just didn't need this match. I mean, we didn't need this match on Raw, not at all. So, but as far as the in-ring work, I give it a B-. In-ring work, especially for I think it was 18 minutes and 54 seconds, or something like that. So,
but
that amount of time. Yeah, but who's counting? But for that amount of time, I give it a B-.
Okay. So, speaking of matches that really just didn't need to happen on Raw, leads us to our next match. Why did this match happen, guys? We just watched this, so why did it happen again?
Yeah, and it's the same finish too with Dallas and Neville. I mean, I understand that you're trying to push Neville, and I think that you're kind of giving Bo Dallas the C.J. Parker treatment, except on the main roster. And I think he's either asking for his papers or he's walking. There's something weird going on there. I thought his contract was coming up, but I heard he wasn't, but I heard he still might be leaving. I don't know. There's a lot of crazy things going on with him. His merch got all put on clearance for a while, and now it's not on clearance anymore. It's weird, man. I don't know what they're doing with him. And if they are planning on keeping him, I don't know why they continue to just put Neville over clean. At least have him, go crazy and get a DQ and, hit him with a chair in the back or something tonight. You know what I mean? If you're trying to get that angle over a little bit more. I agree with you. Didn't need to happen. The Rusev promo that was in between was good. I like his little crushed gimmick thing. Maybe they're going to try to bring him back babyface and turn Ziggler heel. So Ziggler starts treating Lana poorly or something like that. I would like that. I can always stand to see more heel Dolph Ziggler. But overall, I gave that 2 stars.
Big Brad.
Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is a kid that I can't get behind. I mean, I really can't. I can't get behind Bo Dallas. The gimmick in NXT was great. Where it was, here he is, he's a heel who thinks he's a face, that treats everybody that way. I mean, it was good. It was new, and it was fresh.
It's
It
an
was
indie
something that
gimmick.
had, yeah. I mean, it hadn't been really done too much before,
Yeah.
so it was decent, and I liked it. But on the main card, it's not gonna work. It's not. It's not gonna work with that type of fan base because they're just gonna shit on it. I mean, they are. They're gonna pick it to pieces. And so, as far as his his just persona in the ring, it's not there. The guy is just not there. I mean, and it's weird because he's a third generation guy. You know what I mean? And I mean, to me, he's got a stronger lineage than Randy Orton does. As a third generation guy. And I mean, look at his brother. I mean, shit. His brother's become this freaking mystique all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then there's Bo, he's athletic as shit. I mean, he's great as far as athleticism goes. But I personally, I can't get behind him. Neville, I can't say nothing. I can't say any more good than what's been said already about the kid. I mean, the guy is great. I think he is nothing but future star written all over Adrian Neville. I mean, in my opinion, he's the guy I think that should win Money in the Bank. I
Yeah.
really believe it should be Adrian Neville.
I'd get down with that.
Yep.
I'd be cool with that. I hear a lot of guys like saying bad stuff about Bo, and I even made a joke once about Bray Wyatt performing a ritual as a child to take all the charisma from Bo and give it to himself. Um, but tonight there was a moment where when Bo came out all mad and all intense, and he was like, "Last night I wanted to help you, now I just want to hurt you." When he came out of the gate and he was just like really ruthless and really aggressive out of the gate, that was the most invested I've been in Bo Dallas since he moved to the main roster, because that aggression seemed a lot more real when it's against Neville rather than when he did that serious thing with El Torito. You know what I mean? Like, I felt it more this time. So like this was the closest I've gotten to getting invested in Bo. If they would have kept him aggressive through the whole match and just take out Adrian Neville, just like beat the shit out of him, even if it's a DQ finish to protect Neville, but show some of that aggression for Bo throughout the entire match and let him get a W or let him get a DQ loss. I think that you really could have gotten some investment out of him, um, especially if he's going to be staying. If he's going to be staying, you don't want him to just keep going over, as a jobber, because then you're just going to have an enhancement talent. And let's be real, nobody wants Zack Ryder to lose his job. So, uh, so, and it's unfortunate that I say that, but it is what it is. The cards have been dealt. Um,
Yeah.
and I felt
Whoa,
like
whoa, whoa.
you know it. I felt like this was a letdown because it was really, there were so many different ways that they could segue to that Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns match, but this was not one of the ways that was smart. Uh, but Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt was the main event of the night, and I just, the work was there. The work was okay. Some of the it wasn't Bray's best match, obviously, um, but it wasn't his worst, and it wasn't Roman's worst. Um, I've always been skeptical of the pairing of Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, and I see why I've been skeptical of it. It's not a five-star worthy feud, but uh, my biggest gripe is Bray losing clean to Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns has had two matches.
Yeah.
I mean, you're telling me that a three-match in Roman Reigns is able to take down a fresh Bray Wyatt with very minimal help authority? Like, we're talking about the man who just went one-on-one with the Undertaker and almost beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Like, why are you doing this to this character? Keep him like
Uh,
I'm just so mad right now. Like at
yeah,
that.
here's my thing. As a huge Bray Wyatt mark, that I am. I remember when because I was a Husky Harris guy too. Because like I said, the kid's got the lineage, he's got the blood, he's got the chops, he's got it. And I thought the cowboy thing as Husky Harris, the good old boy, Southern boy, I thought that was awesome. It was great. It was a great deal, and I got behind it. And then when they tried the whole Abyss thing, it was just I'm like no, that's just not right. No, that's just not it. But then when I first when I when I saw Bray Wyatt for the first time, it was, it brings me back. I'm going to have to go old school on y'all. I'm going to have to go old school on y'all. There was a character back in the day named Waylon Mercy. If you ever get a chance, look up Waylon Mercy. It is the original Bray Wyatt. Even down to the white pants. And it was in the WWE, and it was really awesome. It was fresh. It was cool. He went out there, and he squashed, and it was awesome. And he was this cult leader kind of guy, and it was good. But when I first saw the Bray Wyatt thing, I instantly got behind him. When I first got behind him, because I thought, wow, that's awesome. That's his character there. That's something Wyndham Rotunda can take to the moon. That's what he can take to the moon, that character. But here's my one thing. That if I could talk to Freddie Prinze Jr., Michael P.S., whoever the hell back there booking shit in the back, here's what I will tell you. He is not the Undertaker. Quit treating him like he's the Undertaker. I don't want to see Bray Wyatt every 6 months on Raw. I want to see Bray Wyatt in the ring every Monday Night Raw. I don't want to see it as Michael Cole 3 weeks ago even billed it as a rare appearance by Bray Wyatt, a rare in-ring appearance from Bray Wyatt. No, man, don't. No, just don't do that, because you take a little bit away from the mystique of The Undertaker when you do it like that. You're already giving him a half-ass Undertaker entrance. So just stop that. Let him do his thing. Get him in the ring every week. Build him in a good program. Put him in a great program. If he loses the program, he loses the program. Fuck it. That's great. But it doesn't take away from Bray Wyatt for him to lose a program. It don't. Because the guy has the it factor to make up for it. So, but as far as the match goes, it was a clunker. It was a clunker of a match. It had the typical Roman Reigns spots. It had typical Bray Wyatt spots. It had a typical ending. But, we all knew Dean Ambrose was going to show up at the end. We all knew that. We knew that was going to happen. We knew the Authority was coming out. We knew Dean Ambrose was going to come out with the belt. It was going to be great. So, it don't hurt Bray Wyatt to lose clean to Roman Reigns. I get it. It's Roman Reigns. You want the guy over. You want him over. The fans turned on him, and now they're trying to get the fans back on his side, and it's starting to work a little bit. Yeah, I get it. That's fine. But there are better ways to do it. So that's my whole 50 cents of it right there.
Yo, dog, I'm going to disagree with you right quick, but I'm going to let my boy Dan do it for me because I bet we have the same opinion.
I think that I thought that the match was good. I thought the match itself was good. It was, like you said, it was typical. It wasn't great. It wasn't piss poor though. The spots were there. Roman Reigns did look strong. I know that's how they're trying to book him, and it worked. He did look strong. I think you're right as far as I don't think it hurts the character of Bray Wyatt to lose, but I think that it hurts any kind of momentum he has right now. Does he even have a match at Money in the Bank right now?
Nope.
Yeah, and they're probably not going to put him on the show. He probably has lost this match, and he's probably not going to be on anymore because they're doing these 2-week pay-per-views. So they're not going to have time for Wyatt if he doesn't have an angle. And
that's my whole issue. That's my whole thing. You got to get him on Raw every week.
Yeah.
He's had one pay-per-view since WrestleMania. He's had one pay-per-view match since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, and that was
I mean,
against Rock.
I gave the match a B, but I gave an F for the angle because I feel like, I mean, look, we talked about it earlier. I thought it would have been smarter to do the finishes with Mark and Bray flip flopped. You know, give Bray and Reigns the main event time, at least the 10 to 12 minutes that you're going to give any match at the end, and then have them go to town at the end, you know, like outside, and then have Reigns get back in at the last 10 count. That to me would have made Wyatt look way stronger. You know, and you could have still even had Mark Henry get pinned and get up and do the slam and the splash. You know what I mean? Like, either I just felt like really small things to me that I think are no-brainers and easy fixes for a creative team. They just don't do, and it's like you could have booked everything the way you wanted, got the message that you wanted to do as your creative team, the story that you're trying to tell, but you could have done it so much better. And to me, it's so simple. So that's why the angle gets an F, because I feel like a lot of that was politics. I feel like maybe even Reigns himself said, "No, I want to pin him." You know, or if you're going to put me in 3 matches, I'm pinning 2 of them, and I'm at least getting the main event. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what it felt like, because to me, there's no other. That had to have been a no-brainer way to book it with the count, with just those finishes flip-flop. That could have even been the original way they wrote it, and it just kind of got, you know, this camp came in here, and then Vince came in here. He's got to look strong, and I'm sure that's how it actually went down. But to me, if they were flipped, it would have been an A. It would have been an A match probably.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just make a small point real quick, because I do agree on the whole angle. The angle was a total dud. I don't think that your point of Bray not being the next Undertaker, I'm pretty sure that's what the whole Face of Fear thing is for. So that's kind of the character. And I understand the point of not wanting him on once every 6 months.
I see.
Well,
I don't think he's saying that it's the character.
Well, you don't want a part-time Bray Wyatt. Like, you want a full-time Bray Wyatt. Like, I understand that.
Right. But my whole thing is, he's not the Undertaker right now.
Yeah. The Undertaker worked all the time when he first came. He worked steady for 10 years.
Yeah.
You can't just go ahead and make him part-time when you've only had this gimmick on him for 2 years. Like,
right, no. And I agree with that. And I just wish, like, see, Taker had a lot of guys to work against that could elevate him. Taker didn't get squashed by Cena at, what, 3 pay-per-views? Was it 3? And then, he had to bounce back from that. And the problem now is that Taker had better creative when Taker was coming up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
Because I mean, no one in their right mind in the 90s would have said, "Hey, I got this brilliant idea. We're gonna put Undertaker against, okay, let's just say Hulk Hogan, because to me, Bray Wyatt versus Taker would be like Taker versus Hogan at some point. But it's not smart to say, hey, we're going to have Undertaker go against Hogan this year at WrestleMania, and when he does, he's going to almost win. Then we're going to keep him off of a program for like 4 months. Oh, but he'll have a one-off against IRS, and then he'll disappear in obscurity again. Like, that's what I feel like the equivalent is at this point. Like, they don't have a solid plan for him. And if you're going to build the next Undertaker, you need a solid plan to build the next Undertaker. Because you got to build it. Because he ain't just coming out of the box.
Yeah.
So, but that's just my little gripe. And now that we've got that all cleared out of the way, we can swing this thing for the home run, just knock her out of the park. Brad, it was great getting you on the show, bro. We've been trying for a month.
Absolutely.
I know, man. I know. It's
bad weather and good old Port Sulphur internet can really just mess with you, can't it?
Yeah, I'm in the swamps. I'm in the swamps back here, so I enjoy this, man. I mean, it's not a lot of, most of the times with me, it's comic books and video games and, pop culture stuff. I don't get a chance to actually, spread my knowledge of pro wrestling lore with people, So, I mean, I enjoy this, man. This is awesome for me.
Yeah. It was good to have you, for sure.
We had fun having you, man. So guys, if you haven't yet, make sure to follow Big Brad there at geekbattleroyale.com. Also, make sure to follow us at Mouth of the Mark on Twitter. We are at facebook.com/Mouth of the Mark, and it's another week for us in the books, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.